Happy New Year and welcome back to another tutorial for a freebie, and this freebie is especially handy for those of you that just picked up our Seasons All Occasions cards, or if you own any of our 5.5 by 5.5 square cards. This is a handy little band that you can use to kind of tie everything together should you be gifting this to somebody. It goes together very simply and quickly. I've got all the pieces here in front of me, and we're gonna go through it, and yeah, let's just get started here. So these blue pieces make up the main part of the band, and then there's this decorative piece with our little mandala, and we're gonna begin actually by doing a little bit of inking. I've got a nice light blue. This is Sea Breeze, and you know what, that's maybe too turquoisey. Let me see if I have something that is not as turquoisey. You don't have to do this, totally optional, but I'm hitting the band, the top part of the band, with a little bit of ink so that when it sits on top of the blue part, it will kind of just blend in a little bit and kind of lighten things up and not make everything so contrasty. Now technically this part we don't need to ink because it's going to be covered up, but we do want to ink the mandala part of it and the rest of the band here. So all I'm doing is I'm just putting a little bit of ink on my little applicator. I've done this dozens of times on various freebie videos, as well as some of our paid videos. I try not to do too much inking on our paid videos because, well, paid product videos, only because it really makes the videos much longer, and inking is an optional thing, of course. So now this blue on white, it is still kind of bold, so go easy if you don't have a very light blue ink, but it's gonna look nice once everything's said and done. And then I'm gonna kind of bring it in a little bit and soften the edges here. I could also take the blank end of, not blank, but part of the applicator that doesn't have any ink on it, and just hit the edges of this again to kind of soften that a little bit. It'll kind of spread that ink out a little bit more and not make it so harsh. I think I did a better job on this side, but that's fine. I also missed a little spot. Once everything's put together, you'll see the final effect. It's very subtle. Okay, and then I'm going to hit the outer edge of our main design here, the little mandala. And so I'm basically just kind of barely scraping the surface of the white edge here on the cardstock. And if I was to put a value on the amount of pressure that I'm applying, I would probably put it at a 1 or a 2 out of 10. I'm not really pushing down very hard. It's a very soft motion, very repetitive, soft motion. And there you go. You can see how nice that looks. Okay. And we're going to jazz this up with some red rhinestones as well to really bring it to life, so it's not just solid colors of cardstock. Okay, so we got that. Now, may as well just get this in place real quick. And you want to make sure that you kind of get this positioned, because it only goes on one way, maybe two ways, but it's got to be like that. Make sure that those little holes in the center are lined up. So I'm going to put this down like that, and I'm going to kind of try to hold this in place so that it doesn't move around too much, so that it's easier for me to apply it to the gold piece once I've got my glue on there. I don't have to mess around and try to rotate it and figure out where it's supposed to go. And then try to get a few little dots of glue here and there inside of the little details here so that it sits nicely for us. And then, you see, even with that, I still kind of just have to make sure that I've got it lined up correctly. Yep, I think I got it. Don't mess up, Leo. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, and then just press that down into place. Just make sure you're not obstructing any of these little circle cutouts here, because ultimately, after we pop dot it onto this piece, there's going to be a little bit of blue showing through there, which is what we want. Okay, so, and yeah, we are going to pop dot this. But anyway, so there's that, and let's put the band together. It's very, very simple. We're starting a band. We're getting a band together. That was a lame dad joke there for you. Okay. All right, so we're going to put some glue on this tab here, and I'm going to spread that glue out right up to the very edge. And you can lay this down flat. Now you'll notice that there's a little tab here too, but it's not angled, it's just straight. And just line that up, kind of butt that up against the little score mark there. Try to get it as centered as you can. Press that down. Then you can fold it over onto itself at the seam there and give that a press. Make sure that it's all nice and lined up. There we go. And we'll close it off by applying glue to the other tab. And spread that glue out to the edges. Make sure that it's making good contact. And line that up. Just like that. And then you can actually, once you get it in place, you can put that down flat. And this whole thing should actually sit down flat completely. Okay, so there is the main band. And so here's the set of 4 cards and envelopes from our Seasons All Occasions bundle. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put these cards in just to kind of help hold the form of our little band here. Stick those right in there. Slide it up a bit. Okay. And once we've got that in place, you can take this piece and we're going to pop that piece right into place like so. So we need to put glue on the entire back of this. And I'm not going to worry about these tabs just yet. We'll do those last so that we don't try to do too much all at the same time. But get your glue on the band, around the circle part of the band here, and then down here as well, and then maybe a few little dots within the little dots. Okay, and just get this nice and centered. This outer part of the white is going to match up perfectly with the outer part of the blue, and then the little tabs at the folds there, those are going to fold over and connect to the sides here. But we don't have glue on those just yet, because I said didn't want to do too much all at once. So we'll try to get this part in place first, and then we'll glue this down on the sides. And then all we need to do is just throw a little pop dot on here and finish it off. Okay, so that seems to be sitting pretty well. I'm going to fold this out, get a little bit of glue on here, but get some glue out to the very edge of this piece here, and maybe spread that glue out a tad. Make sure that it's all the way out there, and then just go ahead and press it into place. It should meet up nicely right with the very edge of this blue section here. And just hold for a moment, let it set. You can flip it over, let the table do the work there, holding that in place while we position and affix the other side. There we go. Get your glue on there and fold that over into place. And you can see how that blue looks, I don't know if you can really tell. You can see it a little bit there. It'll show up better in the photograph. Lighting isn't always as great in the videos as it is in photographs. Okay, so that's in place, and now we're just going to take this and we need to get our little pop dots, and we want to make sure that we position this correctly so that all of the blue shows through as well. Okay, that's not a problem though. And I've got some, actually, you know what? I thought I was going to need smaller Zots here, but I can actually go with some pretty big ones here. So I've got this, I've got my regular foam squares on order right now because I ran out, but I have this roll of foam squares, and I can just cut them to whatever size I need. And I think 4 will probably do the trick. Just one in each little section there, just like that. And we'll peel the backing off. That ought to do it. You know what, maybe, well, since it's 2 layers thick, I bet it'll be fine. You could maybe put another one in the center if you'd like, but I don't think it's necessary. So, to finish it off, we just need to make sure that as we position it, that we're seeing all of the little blue circles coming through before we affix it into its permanent home and position. There we go, beautiful. Now you can see that little bit of blue showing through. And we've got our beautiful band. Now, to really finish this off, I'm gonna throw some rhinestones in here. Let me get my pick-me-up tool and grab a piece of paper here. I can throw some glue on here. Do this a couple ways. Sometimes I'm gonna put 3 rhinestones here, 3 here, and then 1 in the center. Never trust the backing that comes on a rhinestone. It never really holds, and I learned the hard way from taking product photos and then realizing after I spent all this time getting everything set up that I had rhinestones that just kind of fell off for no good reason because I didn't affix them permanently. And actually, you know what? Just realized that I've got 2 different sizes here. I want to make sure that I'm keeping everything consistent as far as sizing. I'm going to go with the big ones. These are smaller. I want these to be more prominent. So we got 3. Come on. Got 3 for one side. I get 3 on the other side, and then 1 in the center of our little mandala. Okay, so we got 3 there. We got 3 there. 1 in the center. Okay, so what we can do, if you'd like, you could literally, if you're pretty accurate with your glue bottle, you can just throw a little dot of glue right on there, right straight from the bottle. I grab my little pick-me-up tool. It's got a tacky little tip that holds my rhinestone. And then I'm using my X-Acto to hold it as I pull the pick-me-up tool away. And just give it a little nudge, clean up any excess glue that might be sitting there. That looks really beautiful. And then we'll do 3 on each side. And now one little thing that I learned is when you're trying to line or kind of create spacing, I always start with something in the middle. So kind of figure out where the middle is and then work your way around that middle piece. Because if you start on the left or the right, you may not get the right spacing. So kind of visualize where the middle is. Now for me, I'm going to say the middle is about here, like that. That looks like the middle. And then I can take another one of these bad boys, get a little bit of glue on there, and whoops, and just pop it right there. Your eye naturally has a good ability to kind of figure out spacing and like an even spacing between elements. It may not be like robotically correct, but as far as your eye's concerned, that's all that really matters. Is if it looks good to the eye, and you can see how nice and spaced out that looks. Almost looks like the Chicago flag a little bit. I think that's what kind of what it looks like. I think those are actually stars and not rhinestones. Okay, so again, just grabbing the next one and finding my center point visually. It's going to be right about here. There we go. Pop that into place. Grab my next rhinestone. Now it still has the original backing on it, which is fine. A little sticky thing that already comes on the rhinestone. I'm not worried about it. Maybe they can work together and it'll hold longer. Should be pretty permanent though. Okay, so there's our second one, and then we got one left that goes to the left there, and should be pretty spot on. I'll be happy with it, I'm sure. And right about there. Give that a little bit of a nudge. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty even, almost like we know what we're doing. And with that said, that's really it. So again, a great little way, you know, if you got a great gift from somebody, a relative, a friend, family member, you got something nice for Christmas and you want to say thank you, make them a set of cards and, you know, throw them inside this little band. Presentation is beautiful, and I'm sure that they will love receiving something like this. And that's it. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the process. If you did, please take a moment and hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. And if you make this or anything from our Seasons All Occasion cards, or anything for that matter, join us over in the official group on Facebook, by doing a search for Dreaming Tree Group, where you can join myself and the 17,000 plus other dreamers that inspire us daily. So again, Happy New Year to everybody, and I look forward to crafting with you again.